I'm gonna push through my lack of motivation lately. So I put this off for like a week. My heat stopped working on the way home from work one day, and it was from the coolant being low. Fortunately, there is an aux pump up here, so there's this bleed valve, and then there's a pump down here somewhere that does the heating part. So I siphoned out of that tank, and then this guy has been leaking for a while. That goes down right in here. You can see all the crusty built up around it, and it just finally started leaking enough that it wasn't, oh, top off a cup of coolant every couple months is like pretty serious. And then there's one leak, I don't know if this is the one or not, but one of them leaks onto part of the harness and can cause big problems anyway, so I'd like to nip this in the butt. But I don't have anything I could reach in there to get this off, and then I didn't want to remove all this crap to pull the whole hose out, so I went ahead and cut with my little knife here as close as I could. So I'm only losing about a 1/4 inch of material, and you can see like just built up nasties in there. So we'll get this whole piece cleaned up. If I have an O-ring the right size, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to swap that out, but the leak was coming, you know, from this lip through the hose. So, and then I'll have to use a hose clamp because I don't have the tool to crimp on a new ring like that. Okay, so angle grinder. If you come in at a shallow angle like that, you can just kind of kiss the rubber a bit until it pops apart. Probably with a screwdriver, it'll pop off. And then look at, I only have one light left. So I used to have 3. Well, I had 6, then it slowly dwindled to where one's, like this one's on, right? This one hooks straight up to power. Yeah, that one hooks direct to power. That one's direct to power. This one was out, but that one was on, so the connection was good. So I think I just need to slide those together. Either way, it's a ton of light. I should have just put up 2 and then had 4 extras, but oh well. There we go. With that rubber off, you can see crusted all the way down. So it's crimped, yeah, but couldn't hold the pressure anymore in its old age. So I'm trying to think, maybe just a wire brush and some solvent will clean that up. All right, back in place. Cutting that little bit off wasn't a problem. There's nothing weird going on with it. It just slipped right on and tightened up. I do want to get a nicer hose clamp. That was a really crappy one, but that can be replaced and the car's not running. I don't think it should. Well, it might leak because that hose is really loose on that fitting. But yeah, so there's a bleed screw up here. Coolant goes in there, but I'm not sure what the actual bleed procedure is. Last time I just filled it up and ran it, and then because that pump circulates up here, I didn't even need to bleed that. But I think with that having emptied itself, maybe I should do it by the book. Oh, good thing I never shut this thing off. I thought about shutting it off earlier today, but yeah, Buffalo Nuts manuals A8 should be in repair. I don't know if it'd be engine or HVAC. Heating, ventilation, refrigerant. Yeah, I think it's still going to be engine. Oh, V8. Let's see if I can find it. Right, so they actually had to fill it. Well, if it was completely empty, they had to fill it with a vacuum assembly, which I don't have with me right now, but I'm not empty anyway. And then they attached this thing, so you overfill the tank. And I can only imagine that's so your coolant level is above the bleed screw. So here's the bleed screw on my car. If you're slightly newer, it's basically, you see this guy, the air inlet, it's in the same spot. You'll see a screw up in a cowl, and we'll go look at it. But you bleed it out of there, and then you bleed it out of the top of the radiator, or wherever the hell, I guess you get to it through the front. I don't know how important any of this is, because you can just top this back off. But then it has you siphon out to max, and it says 4 minutes at 3,500 RPM. I'm not going to sit in the driveway and do that. I'm just going to let it idle. Then it tells you to let it idle till it's 90 C. They might have you run it higher so the mechanical pump and the engine's pumping more. Who knows? And then 2 minutes at 2,000 RPM, and then turn it off and allow it to cool since the max line is at cool. So really, it's about what I thought. So I've got some coolant. What I'm going to do is get all my tools off. Well, this engine doesn't vibrate much. None of this stuff should fall, at least not anywhere that matters. So I'm going to fill that up. I'm going to crack that, and it won't go all the way up and purge the air out because we don't have that smokestack looking thing that they had sitting on here. But it'll get it up the pipes quite a bit. It should, because the pump's down here, be high enough that the pump can pick it up and try to push it through the heating system. And then I'm going to start it And while it's running with that open, I'm going to crack that and see if we can get some to burp out. If we get coolant burping out of there, I'm really not concerned about it. We'll let it get up to temp, see if heat comes out of the interior, and cool it off. Let it cool off, and then tomorrow, whenever, we'll top that off and be done with it. And really thinking about it, it's not that far off. If I had the front of the car up on some stands, it might be high enough that would bleed the way the manual wants you to. But just opening this should, let a bunch come up the pipes if there's any air blocking it from getting out of the reservoir. I can't tell. I think it moved a little. I don't know. Either way. I wonder where that other one is on the radiator. Because they have you remove this cowl, and then there's an intake, and that's how you get to it. So it's probably on the other side of this, and I just don't want to do it. I don't think I'm going to have a problem. It's nice too, now it's like 40 degrees out. It might motivate me to at least do an interior detail and got gross carpets. Nice to wipe the thing down. Is it going to start playing music at me? I don't know. The battery's fine. Sat in the cold for like a week and a half. Probably. No, it's not going to listen until everything boots up. Okay, AC's off. It's on hot. And then not hot. I don't know if that coolant, that aux pump's going to do anything. Ew, why you do this? Clearly my cats are clogged and I should remove them. I don't know. Should it smoke that much when it's been sitting for a while on a cold start? Probably. But it hasn't drawn anything in from the tank. Far out this is supposed to go. Then we'll just start spraying out and then have to close it really fast. I might need heat in the engine before this will even open this circuit up. Or I'll air trap forever because I'm stupid. Alright, we'll give it a few minutes and I'll see what happens. So I finally turned the fans on, which means it probably thinks it's warm enough to have heat, but there's no heat coming out. So give that lead screw a try. See how it goes. And it's still a little smoky back there. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Clearly need bigger turbos. Come on, cool. Come on out of that. Oh, there we go. This trouble with the ABS module. It's fine. Still kind of cold, but the car's not really warm. But I did see it burp out, so I'm gonna wait a little longer. Now here's one. So I had 2 bars on the coolant thing because I'm not actually looking at the temperature in real life. I should have hooked my scan tool up, but I bet the thermostat open. So now we got cold coolant back in the system. It was just going to take a little longer for it to get hot. But, oh, there's 2 bars. And then, yeah, that bleed screw, it's letting stuff out. As soon as I crack it open, it bleeds coolant, which really I should make sure I'm not leaking out of my repair. Well, it spoke too soon. Coolant circulation pump. Got to temp and it was still cold. So it did go. It's in the HVAC section, not in the engine section, obviously. So that's why I didn't notice it. But that being said, it was also low on coolant from the leak. So yeah, leak's fixed. Now I need an aux pump. Yeah, crap. I'll have to move some stuff, I think, because there's things in the way and I gotta charge my headlamp. But I noticed, I ordered the Pureberg pump from FCP Euro and it had scratches on it. Usually, we just bought the Pureberg. It's a little more expensive, but they're reputable, right? And they're OEM for a lot of vehicles. And then double checked in here, and sure enough, they basically scratch off the OEM sign, and that one's by Pureberg. So same part number and everything on it. Should work great, but it has screws in the back that it mounts to, so I'm clearly going to have to like remove this plastic part to get to those screws. Then I think I can hot swap it without draining coolant, and it shouldn't leak too much out. Alright, maybe, well, for the next thing I do, I'll charge my real camera instead of using the phone. But it looks like a 10 there and a 10 there. I don't think there's any, oh, there's one lower on this side, but I think it's just those three. I didn't read the manual because I don't care. But hopefully, oh, there's my fan. It's way up top. I wonder if it's the same fan as the Q7, just a little bit different form. That'd be funny. Anyway, so that one, this one, and then there's one hidden. Oh, Jesus. Oh, shit. Alright, well, I'll get these loose and check back in. Okay, all the bolts out of place, so at least I think. Watch, there's probably a fourth. And I bet it's behind the coolant flange. That'd be hilarious. I would die. I'll actually die. No, there's nothing there. Unless there's one under. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, it snaps straight up and down. It's not a hinge. So 3 out of 4 is not bad. Either way, this isn't like moving at all. There's got to be one I'm missing. I bet maybe there is one under here. You can't see. That would be dumb in my opinion, but I don't feel anything. I'm gonna break it. I know it. Oh no, it's just scary. That's all. Okay, that out of the way. Now, those rivets. I can't see them on the camera. Oh, they're teeny tiny Torx screws. Of course they're Torx. Why, Phillips would be dumb. That's for Americans, dumb Americans. Yeah. Alright, look for tiny Torx bit. Oh, issues, right? This is smaller than a T15. And I don't know if I have smaller than a T15. I was able to get it out with a 5/32 hex from my RC car parts thing, or what's it, but then what I realized is that this whole metal bracket, right, it's got I think a 10 10 10, yeah, I think all that does is hold the pump up. So I think if I remove this bracket, I'll have a lot more wiggle room with the pump, and I can swap the pumps, pull the bracket out with this pump on it, get all the bolts out, and then deal with it, the aftermath. Changed my mind about trying to swap them. I'm just going to drain the reservoir. I think that's low enough that it should be fine, especially if I have this open so that it lets air into the system up top. Yeah, that should let plenty of it burp down into that tank. And then if you have the right size, it's like a cobweb in there, but this size hose, I think fuel line for motorcycles, that kind of size, you can kind of snake it through a little hole at this angle and get it most of the way to the bottom. So yeah, it didn't taste that bad. Nothing a little beer can't fix. So I'll let that siphon out, pull this pump off, and then I found this has, I think this is a 10 because it fits nice, and actually has one smaller, but I can't fit it behind there effectively. So pull the whole bracket out, swap the pumps, put it in, then I know nothing will be screwed up or stripped or rattling around under there. Cool. I had to redo my siphon. I had it in the wrong channel. I'll show you, but you can see this height, that's like lower than that pump height, so I think I'll be clear, and then you'll see it easier. Now, so on the left, to the left of that rib, not the right, but way down there you can see it, that clear spot, that goes through like here-ish, so you can get down into this area and you can really get a lot out of the tank without having to disconnect anything. So now, I don't know if I can use my hood. Okay, yeah, let's use the hood strut as a tripod. That should be fine, at least to prove whether it's going to spill everywhere like this or not. I already pulled the clamps off, got them a little bit loose. Hook them. My pipe this off. It doesn't, yep, that wouldn't leak yet. Some from the side might. It's a little lower, but I don't think it's low enough. Probably my hands are in the way of everything. Come on, so close. There we go. Oh, a little bubble came out. But, oh, come on. I hope at least it didn't go in my HVAC. I feel like go with that. Okay, good. Hate my life. All right. Yeah, so there's 2 more. I'll switch the pumps, put it back in. Be good to go. Right, all hooked up. I don't want those getting too hot. I figure I can bolt stuff in while I see if the heat comes on. So I'll get it started, let it idle, get some heating to it. Because all I need to do is feel it get warmer, or even feel that pump run with my fingers. So let's see, I'll just start it. Yeah, I'd use a towel to wipe all the crap off. So put that one down. The fan should be up. Yeah, everything's on high and it's on hot. So I should be able to stick my hand through the window and I can feel from those vents. Oh, and now that it's idling, I should. Did I ever even close this? No. Huh. One day something will come through that, I think. And that pump's not on yet, but it probably needs the coolant to be warm enough. Like that fan's not gonna, oh wait, the fan is on. It's on super slow. So the fan's not gonna kick this. Oh, there we go, the pump just turned on. I just felt it turn on. This is a beauty. And there we go, dribbles. Sucked a little bit out of the tank. Get some more air out. It's all foamy. I don't know if that's enough. Huh. Yeah. So maybe it's fine. What's the actual bleeding procedure? How much should I dribble out on the ground? It's gonna stink like coolant for so long. I should put a rag under there. Huh. Yeah, once that fan kicks up, I would imagine this will start blowing out and it'll actually be hot. So, well, warm, but we'll see. Oh yeah, that's it. So not even on the second bar yet, and it's already much, much warmer than ambient. So yeah, that's the one. I'm not going to bother scanning it because I know what's up. But I'd imagine that pump code's either gone or I'd clear it and it wouldn't come back. And no reason to run her in the cold. I just need to, I don't want to spoil myself. Oh no, my window. No. I never got the key working right for that. I got the down going and the up. Crap. Okay. Anyway, she's all good. So I just got to button everything up and get to drive it instead of the fan. Yeah, so check one thing off, but get everything in. So that tray, the key here is on this top lip. You know, first what you want to do is snap the right side so it's easier to install. But there's a V-groove here that fits along this edge. See this little like tab? So all that slides together and kind of makes a seal. That way water runs to the edges and not over all that stuff, which is the same reason I put it back in place while I was waiting for parts, just so all that snow melt wouldn't end up in the tray. Although maybe I should leave it off so it drains some of that coolant out. Yeah, it's good to go. So I'll have my car back. The van's running fine, and then that wagon on the other side of the van turbo blew up. So undecided whether I want to bother fixing it or not. I probably will. But great. It's a good way to end the evening.